Hi everyone, this is Leslie, and today I'm going to invite you to come along as I make these complicated earrings. You can see I do them in some different colors. Today I'm going to be working on the mate for this one. And I do want to tell you that this is an advanced brick stitch project. If you're not familiar with brick stitch, you might want to start elsewhere, as this has a lot of manipulation, a lot of tension. But I will show you how to do it, and you can decide from there. Okay, first let's talk about materials. I've got a metal teardrop shape. I ordered these from Golden Age Beads. I've got two different colors of Delicas, the gold and the green for the inside. And I've got two different colors of size 11 seed beads. I've got also a yellow and this kind of rust color, but I didn't get that out yet, as we won't need that till later. And around the outside edge I've also got size 15 gold beads, but we'll get those out in the next phase. For right now I've got these three colors. I've got a couple links of chain for the top to attach to an ear wire. I'm going to recommend that you use a number 12 beading needle. There's a lot of manipulation, so a 10, you can use a 10, but once you start getting into it, a 12 is a little bit easier. I've also got one long arm's length of number 6 fire line. It's not enough to do the whole earring. 2 arms length, you'll really need 2 arms lengths, but the fire line starts to degrade when being pulled through so many times, so I do add a thread in to do the outside edge. If you know me, you know how much I hate adding a second thread for a pair of earrings. I really want to get them done with one thread, but for this, it's okay. So what we're going to do is set this up. We're going to do a row of brick all the way around the inside of the teardrop, and it's going to follow a pattern, and that'll set us up to make some little brick stitch pyramids around. So the pattern is going to be 2 green, 2 gold, 2 green, and then a yellow number 11. And I like to start on one side, and then I'll end up with these 2 units at the top. I'll do those last. And there's 7 of these units. The ones at the top are a little bit different, but I'll show you that when we get around. So you're going to start brick stitch, 2 green, I'm doing 2 gold, two more green. This is the base of the little pyramids. And then put in one of these yellow gold 11s. Okay, so there it is. I'm going to keep going around, and I'll come back when I've done 5 units to show you how that looks and how to put everything in place. Okay, here we are. I've done 5 units going around the inside of this teardrop shape. Now you want to just kind of eyeball from the top, split the teardrop, and make sure those 2 gold beads are right at the bottom. You can kind of push the beads around, and then you can kind of see, is this even? Are these across from each other? It's approximately right. You'll have a chance to push them around at the end. These teardrops are not all uniform either. Some of them are narrower, some of them are wider or longer. So you might need to have the beads tighter together or a little more loose. In any case, it seems to work out. And you're the only one who will notice if they're a little tighter pushed together or a little further apart. So I'm doing this last unit on this side. Two green, two gold. I'll put these two green in. And then you want the did I get it right? Okay. You want the last yellow 11 seed bead to sit right at the top. I'm going to pick kind of a big fat one. And put that right in the top of the teardrop. And if the thread goes one way or the other, that's okay. There's plenty of time to fix that up later. And I'll come back at the end of this row. Okay, I just put in the last yellow seed bead, and I'm going to go back down through the first one that I put in, the first green one, around the ring and up the other side, and that will finish the row. So look at what we've got here. I've got a little extra space here on the side, so I'm going to kind of push the beads around to make them kind of evenly spaced. So we've got our 7 units here. And to start the next row, what we're going to be doing is making little pyramids on each of these 6 bead sections. We've got 6, we're going to do a row of 5, a row of 4, a row of 3, and then go on to the next one. So to make this as easy as possible, I'm going to pick up one green bead, go under the thread of the 2 green beads, and back up through. That's one. Do another one just like that. Over the gold ones, do one gold one. It's a little 3 bead pyramid. And then 2 more green for a total of 5. Now I'm right-handed, so I like to work from left to right with brick stitch. So after I put this 5th one in, I'm going to turn this over, put the thread back in the down below the ring position, and now I'm going to do 4. Now I'm going to brick stitch 4 greens. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it over again. Pick up 1. Brick stitch 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we've got our first little pyramid done. Look at that. Now the next thing we need to do is bring the thread down and over to the next first green bead in the next little pyramid. So turn it over. I'm just going to take my thread down the side. 1, 2, 3. I'm just moving my thread around. This is where there's, there's a lot of needle manipulation here. Down, up through the yellow bead, down through the green bead, around the hoop, and back up through that same bead. That'll put you right in the right position. And I'm going to start my next little pyramid. Exactly the same. These will be a little bit more mashed in these next three units because it's curving around. Just work with that. Okay, 1 gold. So I'm going to keep working around, making these little pyramids. I'm going to do 5 of them. The 2 at the top are going to be a little bit different because you've got this, because they're sort of shoved together. So we're going to have to take out a few beads. That's okay. We'll just won't put as many beads in. So just keep making your little pyramids and going to the next unit. And I will come back at the end of the 5th unit to show you how to do those 2 at the top. And then continue on with our earring. Okay, so here we are. We've got 5 little pyramids and the 2 left at the top. These last 2, I'm going to do both of them together. So start as before. Actually, this first row is going to be pretty much the same as the last in the other unit, as the other one is the same as this same row in the last units. I'm going to put in 5. But then instead of going back, I'm going to go ahead and go forward and do the other unit as well. These beads are going to sit next to each other. So I did the 5 on this side. Then I'm going to continue around and do 5 more on the last unit. This is quite time consuming. This will take this. I was gone a little while getting those units in and making sure they were centered where they're supposed to be. Well, this will take a bit of time. I think the effect is very nice though. Once we'll be done. Okay, 2 more. Now for the next row, you probably won't be able to fit in 4 beads. So we're just going to do 3. Turn it over. We'll do the 3 that are closest to the center. And then we'll go to the other side. You'll see what I mean. So 1, 2, 3, and skip over and do the corresponding 3 on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 3. Skip that last one. That last space. And that'll be fine. There might be a little bit of thread space, but that's okay. Don't worry about that. 2, 3. And flip it over one more time. And do 2 on each side. Then we'll be ready to start the inner rows. We'll set it up. Two, and then 2 on this side. One and 2. Okay. So that's what it will look like with those rows finished. Okay, we're done with the Delicas, the green and the gold. So I took those away. Now we're going to have 2 rows, basically, this row of yellows and this row of these rust ones in the middle. So starting from, let's see, let's turn it around so the thread is coming out of that part of the top. You're going to pick up 2 of these gold ones and brick stitch, go underneath the thread of the second unit. Like that. And those 2 beads will sit up at the top. We'll come and brick stitch that one at the very end. So, now pick up 1. And you're going to go down to the first pyramid. We're going to be doing 2, brick stitching 2 on the top of each of these little pyramids. And that's going to give us a base. You're going to have thread between. It's going to look a little weird. Keep a medium tension. But this is going to set you up so you have something to brick stitch the last row to. Do 2. The pyramids set us up to be able to do this kind of spacing. Makes a really interesting effect. Just keep going around. Set them where they're supposed to be. And I'm already starting to run out of thread. I may have to add that second thread in a little earlier than I thought. Let me finish this though. Pull it it should just pop down and sit in just right when you pull it. Okay. Look at that. Now we're back to the first one. Take that and go ahead and go under the thread of that little pyramid. The last 2 beads in that pyramid. That's going to be a little bit awkward. But that will pull it right into place. You do that. Go through the bead. Underneath. And back up through the bead. And that's how it will look, with the thread suspended all the way around. Now, I don't have enough to do that in a row, so I'm going to add a thread, I'm going to tie this off, and I'll come back with a new thread. I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are. I've got a nice new long thread. And I'm coming out of one of these top seed beads, these yellow ones. Now I'm going to put in this row of rust colored beads. So I'm going to pick up 2 and I'm going to brick stitch using this thread as my base. Now I never know exactly how many beads are going to go in this row. I mean, you can kind of guess, but I never know if this first bead is going to kind of be up here at the top. What did I do in the other one? It looks like I put it right up there at the top, or it might end up being the last one in the row on the other side. I don't know. It isn't always necessarily consistent, but generally, not counting that first rust bead, I have about 3. I'm going to kind of put it up here since that's where it is on the other one. Kind of hold it in place. But I should have about 3. And then we'll have 1 bead between the 2 yellow ones in the previous row. And then approximately another 3. This is one of those earrings that you can't say exactly how it's going to go. Every one is slightly different. I've made enough pairs to recognize that. But no one is ever going to know whether you had 19 or 20 beads. No one's going to be counting them except for you. So it will look fine. Looks like I'm going to have another 3. And the beads are different sizes between different colors, especially when you're working with check seed beads. Looks like I'll put 1 between these 2, though I'm almost at the edge of this. I'm looking to see what I did on the other one. Okay, and I've got 1 down here. It's just going to read like an oval. 1 down at the bottom. And I'll try to mirror what I did on the first side. Sometimes it doesn't work out exactly, but if there's a little space between the beads, that's okay. I think I've said it before, you should err on the sides of putting fewer beads rather than trying to shove too many beads in to your space. I have learned that the hard way. So a little space between them, you're the only one who will ever know. Look between those 2. The effect that it creates will be beautiful. Even if it's not 100% perfectly symmetrical. I've learned that the hard way too. Okay. It's coming along, going around. 1, 2, 3, I guess I'll put 1 more here. And just keep looking at your work, seeing how that looks. It's looking good. We'll see if I can fit 3. I'll try to choose little ones. That's the other thing about check beads. You can try to choose smaller ones or a little bit larger if you've got a space to fill. We'll see. 1. Try to choose the little ones. 2. Alright, looks like I'll be able to fit 1 more in here. Oh, that's really close, isn't it? What did did I do on the other one? Looks like I didn't really fit one in. Looks like I didn't really fit one in on the other one. So you have a decision to make. Do I want to try to put one more in this space? Or do I just want to move them around? I will try. I'll see if it works out. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't work out. And I might have to take it back out. That is all part of the process. Let me see, is that going to fit? Ooh, it's really close. All right, I'll come back and show you what I did in the end. Okay, I did squeeze it in there. And then I need to go back through the top bead. Okay, got our little oval. And then I'm going to take the thread out to the outside edge. Just go through some beads. The last thing to do is to work my way around the outside and finish this off. It's looking really beautiful. This is such a pretty design. Now for me, I get anxious about how the top is going to look, so I like to get that over with the spacing of that. I don't like to leave that till the end. So I'm going to do a little bit here and then go around this way. Okay, I need my size 15 beads, so I'll be right back. Okay, here we are. I've got size 15 gold beads, and I've got these 11s. And somewhere I've got my two little links of chain. There they are. Okay. So I'm going to pick up two gold size 15s and start brick stitching around the edge. I'm going to put one of these rust colored ones between every two. Okay, my camera went out there for a second, but I've reached the top, doing two gold beads and one rust colored bead. I'm going to pick up my two links of chain, put that right up at the top. There we go. Pull that so it's right up at the top. You can go through an extra time or two to reinforce. Make sure that's sitting right on the top. And then just keep following the pattern. Two gold. Pick up a rust and a gold. And keep going around. When I first started making these, I tried to be really exact about how many were on a side and make them symmetrical, but honestly, it doesn't really matter all that much. You're going to have 14 or 15 on a side. If they're not perfectly symmetrical, that's okay. I just try to keep them nice and tight. And you don't have to use 15s. You could use Delicas or whatever you want on the outside. It's a lot to work with 15s on the outside, I admit that. I think it makes a really nice effect, but you do not have to do that. You could just substitute a slightly larger bead. So I'm going to keep going around, and I will come back at the end to show you what this looks like and finish it up. Okay. Okay, I've just laid in the last bead, and now I'm having one of these conundrums where it looks like there's only going to be one. On one side there's only going to be one bead between, but that's okay. You know, like I said, they can't always be spaced exactly right, and really you're the only one that will notice. So I'm putting this last one in here, like I said, so we've actually got 15 on each side. They're just spaced slightly differently from the other side. But that's okay. I don't think anyone but me will notice. So the last thing I need to do is put this thread through. I'm gonna take it up, cross threads, and go back down, and that should be enough to hold it. And we've got our beautiful pair of earrings. Let me know how it goes. And the concept of this could be applied in different ways. So if you come up with something interesting, do post a picture and let me know. Thanks for watching.